Hello, everyone. My name is Danny. This review is for the movie called Birds of Prey. We're just going to say Birds of Prey because I think everybody else is saying Birds of Prey. This is a 2020 film. It is rated R, and it runs an hour and 49 minutes. It's directed by Kathy Yan. It stars Margot Robbie, Rosie Perez, and Mary Elizabeth Winstead, among others. The description: you ever hear the one about the cop, the blonde, the psycho, and the mafia princess? Birds of Prey and the Fantabulous Emancipation of One Harley Quinn is a twisted tale told by Harley herself, as only Harley can tell it. When one of Gotham's most sinister villains, Roman Sionis, and his sadistic right hand Zazaz put a target on a young girl named Cass, the city's wicked underbelly is turned upside down looking for her. Harley, Huntress, Canary, and Renee Montoya's paths collide, and the unlikely foursome have no choice but to team up to take Roman down. This is Birds of Prey. Well, of course, everybody wanted to go see this movie. It's the only one out this week. And I knew it was going to be a big movie. I saw at least one person dressed up like Harley Quinn when I went to go see it in my local theater. And I was, of course, looking forward to it. I think I liked Suicide Squad a little bit more than other people. And when everybody thought Harley Quinn should get her own movie, I think everybody agreed. But, so that makes us all eager to go see this. It's almost like we have to. So when, not that I see every movie ever that people branch off, but I think this is one that everybody kind of agreed on that should have happened after Suicide Squad because Harley was just so amazing in there. So you go in with expectations. What happens? Usually you get let down, or you're just blown away. So let me know in the comments, were you blown away or were you let down? Because I think that's going to be the two-way that people go. I was sitting in this movie. I was watching it with a pretty big crowd. Thursday night, first night out, first showing that I could go to, and I didn't really feel that much energy. And I did go to a Dolby screening, so the volume was shaking our seats and everything, and we had a good experience of it. And I just can't imagine how people are going to take this movie if they weren't excited about it in the Dolby theater, how they're going to enjoy it in a regular theater or at home in the future. It's just, I think I went to the best experience possible with my seat shaking, and having a large crowd around me. You know, I just thought people would be rolling over, laughing, and really reacting to the fight scenes and stuff. And I was expecting a female Deadpool. I really was, and I just did not get that feeling off of this. The crowd didn't. I didn't. Just the whole experience was kind of a letdown for me, and that's my personal experience. So I'm not letting the experience completely cloud my judgment because I did watch the whole movie and I was paying attention the whole time. So this is a real review, but honestly, it just kind of speaks volumes when people are full up full up in your theater and nobody's laughing at any jokes and nobody's really reacting to any of the really bad stuff happening. And it's like we've seen it before. It's kind of a mild version of what we've seen before, and there's just not that much of it. So we're just kind of sitting there, kind of being let down. So the things that let me down were not that much action. Might be an arguable point for some people, but I just don't think there was enough. I don't think it was extreme enough to be worthy of a rating of R. I don't think that there was enough of it to keep us intrigued. I think there was way too much story. I think the way they handled the story, going back and forth, this way, that way, oh, to this timeline, oh, fast forward to there. I think that was all confusing, and I think people are going to be ripping that apart. I think that'll be one of the biggest, the biggest complaint of this movie is the way they handled the timeline and the way they handled the story. And, you know, I love Ewan McGregor, and I will continue to go see all of his movies. I've loved him ever since I saw him in Moulin Rouge. It just blew me away. So, how do you handle some of the superhero movies, whatever you count as a superhero? Was this a superhero movie? I don't know, but it's under that umbrella. But Harley Quinn's not a superhero, so I don't know. Um, a lot of superhero movies we've had really bad villains. It's just been kind of the census, is that a lot of the bad guys have been really kind of bad. And my way of making this villain better is, guess what? His name is Black Mask. Have him wear his black mask every time he's encountering people. Every time he goes to this family and talks to them about why their partnership didn't work. Every time he goes out into town to talk to this one store owner or this other mafia leader, have him wear his black mask. I know he's trying to be kind of personable and own a club and be legit, but we just don't need that. We need him to be really, really bad and be scary and be a threat. And when he's just looking like Ewan McGregor and he's acting like a little whiny little girl most of the time, it just makes him look really bad. And it just continues our streak of kind of underwhelming villains. So, then we have the underwhelming action. We have the really confusing storyline. We have, Harley talking and talking and talking. And once the action comes, it's slow motion, it's cool. Sometimes it's fast, sometimes we get a car chase. But I was expecting way much more. I don't know about the rest of you, but maybe she'll get another movie. Maybe we'll get more action out of that one because we'll get all this talking out of the way in the first one. But I just did not like how they handled this. I thought the birds of prey would encounter each other about maybe halfway through the movie, and they just don't. What is in the preview is what happens, where they meet up at the end, they have this big fight scene. Sorry to give that away, but that's just what it is. Walking in to this movie that there's going to be a big fight scene at the end, and that's what it is. It's a big fight scene at the end. It's really predictable. It's really sappy. It's really kind of just amateurish, and I just didn't like how they handled this movie. I did enjoy the other actors, the Huntress and her story, because they bring it up a couple times about her family. The cop was fine, but it almost seemed like a Disney movie storyline with her not liking her boss and stuff. That was just so stupid. And the canary, the bird, she was a surprise. We have a really stupid thing happen with her at the end, and I think it was completely out of place. Like I said, I don't know if this is a superhero or not. I don't know if it's a superhero movie. I don't know who has what, if they're just tough women or what. And what happened at the end just confused me even more with what happened with the canary. So I think Harley puts in a fine performance for what she does, but she just leaned too much on the same old conversation, the same old speech, the same old, she's dumping Mr. J. It was just abundant. And I thought this would be more of a standalone movie, and with how much time they took covering Mr. J and her separating, it just seemed to drag on and go in a circle and not move forward. I just think they spent too much time on the wrong things here. I think they tried to make it kind of like a female Deadpool movie with her offering us commentary and stuff. But I also thought there'd be more to this movie than just her. I know this is her movie, but I thought there'd be more to it. And even though they threw all these characters at us to kind of confuse us and make it seem like a full movie, it just seemed really skimpy. And I wish they would have handled Ewan McGregor more scary. I wish they would have, given us more action and more material instead of just talking. So generally, I think the crowd is going to like this movie because of what it stands for, what it is. It's Harley Quinn's big movie, big time to shine. It reminds us all of Suicide Squad. Maybe some of you have gone back and watched that first. Maybe not, but I don't think it really matters. Most of you will know who Harley Quinn is, and this gives you a little bit of backtrack story on her. So I just think that it was a fine movie. It was entertaining for what it was. Lots of color, lots of good songs on the soundtrack, lots of good fight scenes. It shows that the women are tough. It shows that the people who choreographed the fights and gave these people different guns and weapons are very creative. It just I don't think it stands up to some of the other amazing movies we've had, and I think it's gonna be chalked up as kind of a very amateur first movie for Harley Quinn. That is her movie if they're gonna make more. And so there was a little clip it after the end thing, and it's not worth staying for. So don't worry about that if you haven't seen the movie. I hope I haven't given too much away, and I had a lot of thoughts about this movie, and that's why my review is so long here. But honestly, I just don't know what to do with this, and I don't know if anybody else is going to know what to do with it either. There's a lot of talking points, there's a lot to be criticized. It's just hard to be such a simple plot, and for the ending to be what it was, I just think was kind of disappointing. Even if they did want to try and make more movies, I think those movies will be better than this one because this one was just a little too simple. I'm going to give Birds of Prey a B. I think it is good. I think I could watch it again just to see if I'm missing anything. If, some of the better parts, like the uh, Harley's pet, were very entertaining. Things like that I could watch over and over again. There's some funny things. It's just, like I said, my theater didn't laugh hardly at all. So I didn't either. I think it earns a B grade. Thanks a lot, guys. A B for Birds of Prey. My name's Danny. If you like this or my other videos, try and give some of them a watch. Like and subscribe to my channel if you would. Let me know what you thought of this movie in the comments. And enjoy your movies, guys. Thanks.